Hello and welcome to our new podcast here on All Things Wrestling, the podcast titled All Things Super. And this week we are joined by Ross Mackie
Hello.
and our regular co-host here, the channel owner himself, Mr. Tom.
Hello.
How are we, boys? Are we looking forward to this new venture?
I am.
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Off we go then.
So, first point, the first main thing we want to talk about, is my point today, is the controversial way Ronda Rousey debuted at the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, it made her overshadow the entire momentous occasion of the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. It's just like 30 women have done this. I'm here. No one focus on them. It's all about me now. That's the way it came across.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the best ending to the Royal Rumble that I thought. I thought she was going to be in the Rumble, to be honest with you. When that 30 bell struck and it wasn't her, I was very shocked. Because I thought that would have been a better way of doing it. But coming out and pointing at her sign hasn't seemed to work for many people yet.
It only works for the Undertaker. That's it. If you're not the Undertaker, you're not allowed to point at signs.
She came out, and people were really excited to see her, but at the same time, it just overshadowed the entire Women's Royal Rumble.
At that point, everyone just kind of oh, Ronda Rousey, much better than the full match. They didn't really care about the match anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Ronda meant it to come off that way. I don't think she meant to try and overshadow anything, because I don't think it was her way to. I don't think that was her plan of how to debut, but it's the way she got told to debut, I think.
Yeah.
She's not the kind of woman that's arrogant and wants to put anyone else down, is she?
No, and I think that's certainly the way it came across. Wasn't she offered a handshake and what looked like a congratulations to Asuka. The one thing that I thought about this topic was it reminded me of the women's ladder match, the Money in the Bank briefcase match, in which James Ellsworth won. This is the second time they've had a momentous occasion where they're breaking boundaries. They've had a women's Money in the Bank, and now they've had a women's Royal Rumble, and they've both ended in really strange ways.
Yeah. It seems like they're getting the idea properly of we need to do these momentous occasions, and then just kind of going like, if we do this, it'll be even more rememberable, but for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. You're trying to shock people with things that have never happened, and then trying to shock them with other things that have never happened, but it overshadows the original event.
Like the entire match.
Yeah. Same with the women's. The only thing I can remember from the women's Money in the Bank is James Ellsworth winning it, unfortunately, which shouldn't be the case.
There was nothing special about the match anymore as soon as he won, really.
But you would remember more about it if it didn't have a strange ending. You'd probably remember particular spots, but the biggest thing you remember is James Ellsworth climbing a ladder and passing it to Carmella, to then have another one for her to win it again, which made no sense.
I don't want to put the Women's Royal Rumble down because I actually really enjoyed it and I thought it was fresh and something new. I think they had problems with the fact that there was a number of people in the Rumble that weren't exactly big names. So when they came down to the ring, you weren't very excited because it was the men's equivalent of Chad Gable, and he's just another guy, and that's fine. But when the men's Royal Rumble was so stacked, the women's one just looked so weak because you were having those sorts of people. It was great to see some of the other people back, but the finish for me was a bit weak. The kick from Asuka to was it Nikki Bella?
Nikki Bella, yeah.
Nikki Bella on the outside. Just that didn't scream to me finish of the show. So I'm quite pleased they did something. I'm not pleased it was that.
No. It's just Asuka looked like a chump by the end of it because she's like, oh, here's a much more popular woman. enjoy her. I mean, it's fantastic to see her because I absolutely love Ronda Rousey. Her personality, her character is absolutely fantastic. Just, I would have much preferred she come out there and kicked one of the champions in the head and then left.
Yeah, it would have made more sense.
Or she kicked Stephanie. Something that wouldn't have overshadowed Asuka as much because it would be setting up a storyline, and then she stares at Asuka and then leaves.
Because there's always been tension between Stephanie and Ronda, so it would.
They shook hands very hesitantly, which is debatable because obviously the rumoured match is Stephanie and a mystery partner versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, which I'm up for that. I don't think Ronda Rousey should get a championship match at WrestleMania.
No,
that would be pushing her way too far over all the women that have been doing some terrific hard work.
Yep.
Obviously, because Asuka versus Charlotte sounds much more intriguing for me than Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I don't want Alexa versus Asuka because I don't think Alexa could do it.
As the Asuka versus Charlotte.
Yeah, Alexa she's great, but I don't think she has the potential to put on that main event classic moment in a match like Charlotte can.
Yeah.
Well, we got apparently Nia versus Alexa, which will be a fantastic. They're building to this very slowly, which is good.
I think it's a shame because you look at the women's roster, and actually it's not a shame because people like Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch won't be anywhere near the card at WrestleMania at the moment, with 3 women's matches already taking place. I don't know what on earth they're going to be doing with those other ladies, but to have those singles matches is really good. Because it's always nice to have singles matches at WrestleMania because it's much more memorable than the 6-man. Yeah, absolutely.
1 or 2 WrestleManias that have actually had a singles woman match. The rest have been like triple threats. Like, I think it was Lita and Trish Stratus. I don't even know if that happened at WrestleMania. I know there was Trish versus Mickey James, and there's probably 1 or 2 during the Attitude Era, and that's it. And the rest have all been.
What you're talking about is memorable matches.
Yeah.
And they are.
And the rest are all throwaway tag team matches or triple threats or fatal 4-ways, which are
just
great
to get people at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, the three horsewomen going at it last year's WrestleMania, that was fantastic, but
that stole the show. That was the best match of the night.
Oh, that was fantastic, but it's just they didn't get their single moment as a singles match. Some women want a dream of being there in a singles match for the championship. That's not really happened.
I think you look at Sasha Banks, and I think they've got a real star there. I mean, Ronda Rousey is a star. She already is a star. But looking at Sasha Banks, she's got the look, she's got the ability. I know she's injured a couple of people, but that is part of wrestling.
Yeah. She's not a dangerous worker.
She's got everything, yet she's not even going to be around WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, and like the whole Bayley doing matches on main event now instead of Raw. Yes. And I know she defended her actions, saying it's good to get in the ring and get a singles victory, but really, at this point when you're on main event, that's worse than being on NXT. That's basically a death sentence to all the people that they don't give a shit about.
Pretty much.
Because you've got people like Titus O'Neil and Darren Young having matches on there.
Well, the only good competitor I've seen in the past 4 or 5 months is Aleister Black when he went against Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, but that's a throwaway show to put on the lower talent so they get a paycheck for the week. And to put Bayley on there is ridiculous.
But moving back to Ronda Rousey, she had the look of a star when she came down to the ring.
The song had an impact immediately.
It did. It wasn't filmed well because it was like, well, what's going on? Why are we looking at 3 women in the ring looking confused?
Like when AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016 and they just kept showing Roman's face or whoever was in the ring. Yeah, it was that moment again.
You saying that exactly brings me back to a point I was going to raise. Ronda Rousey's debut, if you like, introduction, is probably one of the biggest for some years. For like first time entrant to WWE.
Yeah,
I mean, AJ Styles is the only one I can think of really that's happened in the last few years.
that
Sort of
everyone
for the
was like,
first
"Oh my
time.
god, it's happened."
Yeah. But
'Cause obviously,
she's such a bigger star than AJ Styles in terms of the wrestling world. AJ Styles is huge,
but
but
in actual world,
Hollywood,
everyone knows the name Ronda Rousey. You ask anyone Ronda Rousey, I'm guaranteeing most people will go, "Yeah, she's that intense MMA fighter, and I think she's done a few movies and stuff like that now."
she's in Fast and Furious
Was she? What, the
Yeah.
new one?
6,
Was
the one
she?
in Abu Dhabi.
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
There was a women's fight part where Letty and her were fighting in a big tower.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Good movie. They should have ended it on that. To be honest. But we're not here for films. But yeah, she outlives. Like they said, they've got mainstream attention having the name Ronda Rousey associated with them. She brings in headlines no matter what she's going to do. So
I just don't think coming in and pointing at a sign 3 times is outlining what she's going to do. I
No.
mean,
because what she's saying she's going to WrestleMania. Fantastic. She could have come
Yeah,
out and
great.
got a promo doing that.
I like being shown a little bit, and then waiting to see what else is happening. Because at the moment, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. Whereas if
Yeah.
she'd have come out and told us everything, then we wouldn't have that.
No.
But to have something where she sort of maybe hit Charlotte or someone or just something where we have an indication as to where this is going. Sorry, Ross.
Or it would have been even more epic to take the two champions out and the winner, big way, to show herself.
Yeah.
Or teaming with Asuka.
To take out the
It would have given
champions.
Asuka a big boost as well.
Yeah. And obviously the fact she won't be back until mid-February, so what? Not this Raw, not next Raw, the Raw after is most likely when she'll make her debut. Is in three Raws time. Means they kind of prematurely made her debut for the sake of a headline grab.
It's kind of disconnected a little bit now because 3 weeks after she's gonna just randomly appear, and people are not gonna obviously forget about it because it is a big thing. But
they're gonna go, oh yeah, Ronda Rousey works here.
I think it's really interesting that she signed a full-time contract.
Oh yeah,
because she certainly has that Brock Lesnar
look and
feel.
Oh yeah,
I can imagine her matches feeling
legit.
big matches, but
Legit
I feel
and
like
big.
they're going to build her up to be this huge dominant person, and unless they do something where she sort of loses her first match, and they sort of play around saying, you're in the big leagues here, I don't really see where this is going to go, because who's going to beat her?
Asuka.
And who else? That's literally going to be it. That'll be the build up to Asuka versus Ronda Rousey, and possibly Charlotte. But you're not going to see her fighting Alicia Fox on SmackDown.
No.
In a couple of years' time, because you're not going to believe it.
No. That's the problem when you've got such a personality and character there, like Ronda Rousey's. You won't believe the everyday match for her.
I'm really looking forward to seeing her in ring gear, because I've got no idea what what look they're going to give her, or
because obviously the jacket was jacket was lent to her by Roddy Piper's son.
I love the symbolism of it, but I don't think that should be a long-term thing. It looks stupid. The jacket was about 10 times too big for her.
Yeah, I think that was just literally paying respects there and then. I think that because she gave it back. Like they're doing a similar story with Shayna Baszler, because one of the other MMA women, because she's having matches, but she's more likely to get beat because she's already been beat. That's a good thing about that person's character. She's already lost matches.
Yeah.
She lost to Corey Sane, so you can believe that Shayna Baszler, and she lost to Ember Moon. She's got this whole kick your ass personality, but she's got the thing of she's not been in this business, so she can get outsmarted by the other women. So it's believable.
That's exactly what I'd like to see happen with Ronda Rousey. It sounds terrible, but I'd love to see her lose her first few matches because of
being outsmarted
a roll
by
up
women.
or, for example, a submission move that doesn't happen in UFC. I know the Walls of Jericho was used to end a UFC match, but
like the bank statement or what's another one? Asuka lock if she goes against Asuka for the first time.
she could pass out to it, but
Yeah.
it would show how green she is because she's not a WWE wrestler. She's coming from another area, and she needs to learn a few basics
in order to get grasp, and then get her on a tearing spree after.
Yeah.
Build her up as this very dominant woman, but clueless at the world that she's now going into.
I mean, by all means,
I already know
flatten people.
Yeah.
But there should be opportunities sometimes for people to outsmart her.
Yeah. Obviously, we know who's going to be doing all of her booking, and it won't be Vince McMahon.
Triple H.
Triple H will be in control of Ronda Rousey's booking. You already know this.
It'll be Triple H versus Ronda Rousey.
And then Ronda knocks him out. Triple H literally loves the woman. He's wanted her in for so long.
That's the
thing. Imagine if her partner is Conor McGregor.
That's what people are saying.
I can't see that.
I don't see them doing that because that would cost so much money. Ronda Rousey would already be over $1 million contract already. That's the sad thing is the most highest paid woman is $450,000, and she's probably getting paid triple that to come in. But that's what star power in your name does. You get the big money for having the big name. If you try and sell something with Ronda Rousey compared to Charlotte Flair, you get a lot more interest in the Ronda stuff. It's just gonna be happening, unfortunately.
Well, there we go.
That is our point on Ronda Rousey and her debut and everything surrounding that, and a bit of surrounding women stuff.
Yeah.
I believe Super Chesney has the next point of the podcast.
Yeah, so moving on now, we're going to be doing something every time because so often in wrestling and on YouTube and people who talk about wrestling, it's all the negatives. It's a lot easy. It's quite easy to pick out negatives in things, but this is going to be Pal's Positive Points. That's my surname. Pal's Positive Points, and we're going to be looking at a few different things within the last weeks, months that we think are really good in wrestling. Even when Raw sucked, I'm sure we can still find good things that happen. And I actually have 3 this week. So, boys, if you want to chip in with others, feel free. But the first one that I've got was the mentioning at Raw 1000. Not Raw 1000. Raw 25.
Yeah.
China finally gets mentioned. She got mentioned at the Royal Rumble as well. And she's so deserved of not being forgotten about and sort of palmed off on the fact that she did porn in her other life. It's so nice to actually hear them talk about a woman that changed the industry. This is a woman that was beating up men, winning men's titles. She was huge back in the 90s.
She got to the point where when she fought against women, you're like, oh yeah, she can fight against women. Because she got to that point where you just saw her as another competitor and not a female wrestler.
Yeah.
She transcended that barrier so much during her career. And it's glad to see that's never been forgotten.
But it did get forgotten, and that's the problem. It was palmed off. Triple H said that she was never going to go into the Hall of Fame. I'm not quoting from something. I'm just remembering something that was said. because if you type her name in, and it's a PG company, if you type her name into Google, the first thing that comes up is all the pornography stuff that she did, and that's really sad.
But yeah, Xbox did it, and he's still allowed.
Well,
He did it with China.
I know it's slightly different, but nearly all the women on the roster have got naked pictures of themselves out there.
Yeah. Playboy for half the divas. Well, when they were divas.
Mm. I think it's nice to hear her name, and I really hope that we have a number of women go into the Hall of Fame this year, and she be one of them.
I really hope she is. Right, your second positive point of the day, week, month.
First of all, well, they're both about the Royal Rumble because I really enjoyed the show. But first of all is Shinsuke Nakamura winning.
Oh yeah,
What
booking
a moment!
Right. That was my booking decision for the entire 2017. I said they should do this. I love it. It's what the fans wanted. It's what clearly the company wants. It's just the best thing to build because it's a match that they know is going to sell at WrestleMania.
We talked on our live stream about who the previous winner's been of the Royal Rumble, and you look at Del Rio, who was champion. You look at Sheamus, who went on to be champion. I mean, he might have fallen down the card now, but those are sort of two of the weaker winners of the Royal Rumble. You look at the others, and you've got The Rock and Batista, Randy Orton, John Cena.
And Batista's the only one that never went on to win it because Daniel Bryan won it, didn't he?
Well, I mean, went on in his career to win.
Oh yeah,
a WWE main title.
Oh yeah, they all do. I don't think there's a single Royal Rumble winner apart from was it Big John Studd who won the first one?
Yeah, I don't know if that counts, but
obviously
we're talking about
yeah. All the modern day ones have all won a championship.
They're just showing how much they believe in Nakamura, and for someone who can't speak English, it's fantastic.
They've got a lot of. Then again, Asuka can't speak English, and she's another winner.
Yeah.
What's your third point?
The Royal Rumble in general. I was surprised this year. I was looking forward to it. I just didn't want Roman Reigns to win. But the Royal Rumble was fantastic. Sitting there with sort of 25 on the clock thinking, actually, there's a few people that could come out here that I don't know who they're going to be. Seeing the Hurricane come out. Who was the other surprises that were in the Rumble?
Rey Mysterio and a couple of NXT
guys. Rey Mysterio looked great.
I want him back.
Andrade Cien Almas was a big shock.
Yep. And Aleister Black. Oh, yeah, sorry, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we had Corey Sane and Ember Moon in the women's, which was nice to see.
The women's was slightly different because there were so many returns.
Yeah.
Michelle McCool was actually the one that I'm not sure about because she came out and looked great and it was great to see her, but she didn't look that great in the ring.
Nah. Bit rusty. Then again, she's the only one that. Then again, she's the only one out of all of them who have fully professionally wrestled retired. All the others have gone on to wrestle somewhere else. She's a stay-at-home mum now for The Undertaker's kids, isn't she?
I'm not sure Vicky Guerrero's gone on to wrestle anywhere else.
She probably has.
That was just entertainment when she came out, though.
Yeah, that was literally purely entertainment because she was pissing everybody off. I love that comedy. I love when they put a bit of comedy in there, though.
Yeah, it was great. There were so many moments in the Royal Rumble this year that I really Heath Slater getting knocked down by nearly everyone.
And then taking out fucking
Sheamus.
That was brilliant.
It was really good, and the Royal Rumble really hit the spot this year. It's been so terrible for the last 2 or 3 years. This was superb.
I can honestly say I have generally enjoyed the Rumble this year, whereas the last couple of times it was all right. And I don't even remember what happened last year's Rumble apart from John Cena winning the WWE title off AJ Styles. That was the only thing I can remember from last year's Rumble.
I think we had no surprise entrants for the last 2 Royal Rumbles, as in shock returns.
No, we didn't.
This year they got it bang on.
Oh, it was
just
so
one
good.
or two. That was all that they needed.
Yeah, and I'm glad it wasn't people that we'd seen on Raw 25th as well. That was made it even more surprising that them people didn't return.
What did you think of the surprises this year, Ross?
Well, yeah, you clearly heard the crowd pops and Adam Cole. That was a big surprise. Rey Mysterio. I've actually heard he's set to return, making a currently contracted with WWE, but I don't know if he's signing a contract or not. But
So I think he's under negotiations as far as I've heard.
Well, I started watching wrestling in 1999.
2006.
Well, there you go. So, did the hurricane mean anything to you, Ross?
yeah, it was a big shock because even though I'm only 13, I still know who he was because I played older games. And when I seen him, it was a big shock, and I was really happy. The crowd as well. But then the big moment that really annoyed me was when John Cena just went on.
He was never going to go far, but the moment of bringing him out was fantastic, and
You knew he weren't going to win, but Rey Mysterio actually had a big chance of winning. You could believe that Rey Mysterio could go on to win.
Yeah.
Because it's Rey Mysterio. And Finn Balor being the Iron Man of the match as well.
Yep. I was disappointed we didn't see the club in the Rumble for very long, or they could have come out and given Finn a bit of a bit more of a dominant spell, but
and obviously Kofi with pancakes. That was brilliant.
It was amusing. It's probably running out of things to do, but that throw from Xavier and Big E, where they threw him over the top rope, was incredible.
Brilliant.
The height
was amazing. It's absolutely fantastic.
Does anyone else have anything for Powell's positive points this month?
Anything Braun Strowman does currently. The booking of Braun Strowman at the minute is fantastic.
Throwing anyone through a table.
Yes, and just doing reckless, ridiculous things. We haven't seen stuff like this since 2007. It's refreshing again to see a dominant person coming in and wrecking everything.
And the fans like him.
The fans love him. I mean, he flipped the announce stage over onto Kane. What more do you need to say apart from that?
Well, it gets rid of Kane for a little while, and that's positive.
That's always positive. Kane keeps saying he can wrestle to a high standard. Not really.
Keep wrestling to a high standard.
That's what he's saying. He said he's still wrestling to a high standard.
What standard? Whose standard?
Kane says he's...
You could. I wouldn't say he is, really.
No, he's nowhere near as good as what he was.
I think he did all right with the Zack Ryder thing. I think he was quite believable because he came back with the mask, and that was sort of one of the first times in a long time that he'd come back with that. But
now it's just I'm sick of seeing him because, well, one is attire is bad.
Give younger talent the chance.
Yeah. Then again, he is helping putting over Braun Strowman, which is helping.
Send him away from now until next Royal Rumble. Bring him out for the Rumble.
He might be the mayor of Knoxville by then.
Yep.
That won't stop him.
Probably not, to be honest, because he's still going to be under a WWE contract regardless.
Him being in the Rumble would just promote it. Just promote mayor again.
I'd just come out with a Knoxville is great sign.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. And then someone knocks him and smashes the sign over his head and kick him out the ring.
Sounds about right.
That'd be brilliant.
Any positives from you, Ross?
Just one more point that I seen, and that was the Raw 25th anniversary between the full DX, the Balor Club, Seth Rollins, just that whole little bit there. That was pretty lit. Between doing Too Sweet and stuff, sucking, all of that really.
Yeah, I enjoyed that moment.
There were a few moments that I enjoyed. It's hard to talk about that show in Pal's positive points, but
Yeah.
there
it
were
had
some
it
good
had
points
some
there.
good points.
It's just the whole thing left a bit of a sour note, but yeah,
Because
I
they
agree. That
promoted
point
it.
was pretty good.
And the Boogeyman. That was fun.
The Boogeyman was there, and the amount of
Eating
people they
worms.
did get.
They got a lot of people. I mean, I'm glad they didn't get Rey Mysterio for the 25th anniversary because it shocked us at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm actually
it would
really
have
pleased
ruined
with
the
that.
shock.
The
Same with the
Hurricane
Hurricane.
wasn't there.
It would have ruined the shock of the Royal Rumble. Which I'm glad they didn't ruin any shock because I would love the surprises. But yeah, Raw 25th, overall as an anniversary show, it had its moments.
Yeah.
But just how it goes down in history as a alright show with a few nice throwback moments.
There we go. So unless anyone else has got any positive points this week, let's move on to you then, Ross.
Okay, so has anyone else got any positive points? Or
No.
okay, so I'm gonna move on to my point on this podcast, and it is about Booker T's claims. So Booker T is trying to claim the reason he's been kicked off the announced team, of course, getting replaced by Jonathan Coachman, great announcer, and the reason he's been kicked off of the announced team is because he's got heated conversations with another announcer, Corey Graves, and he pretty much just trying to say, but what do you think Booker T has another match? Before I start talking about the rest of it, do you think he has another match?
Here's another what?
Do you think Booker T can fight another match?
Oh yeah, I think Booker T could have another match.
Because in this he's claiming that he's called out Corey Graves and he wants to fight him at WrestleMania.
That would be terrible.
I can't imagine seeing that. That would be
Like,
terrible.
Last time two announcers fought, it made me want to kill myself.
I can't see WWE doing this, but Booker T has
Corey
called.
Graves can't, can he? Because he's injured.
Yeah,
He ended his wrestling career because of his injury. There's no way Corey will ever go out of retirement. If he would already be a wrestler.
and Booker T also said, if I catch Corey Graves on the street, I'm gonna do something to him. Booker T said, I ain't gonna do it at office or airport, but if I catch Corey Graves on the street, you see that little bouffant like hairdo he got, I'm gonna rearrange it for him. So he's sounding pretty serious and a little bit over it.
What did Corey do?
Where did he say this?
He said it in like some sort of interview, but Booker T and Corey Graves and him had a heated conversation, and Corey Graves kind of pushed him out of WWE because Booker T did in fact get kicked onto like the kickoff panels and stuff now, and that, so he's blaming Corey Graves for it.
To be fair, Booker T's commentary is dog shite.
Yeah.
I can't.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
I'm sorry, but Jonathan Coachman is so much better. It was so refreshing to hear Jonathan Coachman this week.
I would quite like a commentary team that doesn't become the centre of attention. If you watch a football match here in the UK or literally any other sport in the UK, I can't speak for America, but the commentators, you never see them. You just hear them. They explain what's going on in the ring. They tell you interesting facts that are relevant to what's going on. That's all that you need. That's all that they need from the commentators.
JR.
They don't need to be in big storylines.
Yeah, but JR, you got to admit, back in the Attitude Era and early 2000s, the commentary team was nowhere near as involved as they are now.
Well, is that because we've got 4 men on commentary?
Yeah, that doesn't help. It needs to be 2 goddamn people, which is why that's why NXT and 205 Live is so much better, because it has 2 bloody people on commentary. It's got Vic Jones and Nigel McGuinness. They work well as a commentary team. One takes the piss out of the other one takes shots back, like it was with JR and King. and they commentate on the action. It's refreshing to have 205 Live commentary.
The other storyline as well that the commentators kind of got into like a little bit too much, in my opinion, was the Enzo Amore and Big Cass breakup. Like Corey Graves had something. No, it wasn't actually. It was Sorry, it was actually the. I'm sure it was Jason Jordan or something. Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle. That storyline.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they got Corey involved in it.
yeah.
For literally no reason. It made no sense to have Corey Graves. Because before that, did you even know Corey Graves even knew Kurt Angle?
No.
Personally. It made literally no sense. It's like when they shoehorned Charles Robinson into Charlotte and Paige's feud back that time when they did the screw job. It made no sense because, yeah, I know he was associated with Ric Flair back in the day, but no, I didn't even know that he knew Ric Flair at this point.
They don't need to make commentators into superstars. You know, they are just there to explain what's going on and to give you the information you need to understand what's going on.
And to entertain you a bit, because they do make entertaining commentary, because that's what the point of them is, but they're not meant to be a focal point of the show. You're not meant to go, oh, you remember when the announcer came out winning the Royal Rumble?
You see, the thing is, if the commentators aren't such a big part of the show, if one of them was to go in the Royal Rumble, it would be nice to see. The fact that Michael Cole had a match at WrestleMania, he'd been...
Which he should have lost and not won.
Every week with that stupid computer. You know, he'd been such a big part of the show.
So
when he was in the Rumble, we weren't interested. We wanted him to get chucked out straight away because it was uninteresting.
I still want to see someone beat the shit out of Michael Cole. He's still annoying. He needs to get replaced. They want to make him backstage. Just put somebody else out there. They've got, 3 different commentators for SmackDown, 3 different for Raw. Oh no, sorry, you got Corey Graves. So 5 for the main shows, 2 for NXT and 2 for 205 Live. 3 for NXT, 2 for 205 Live. So what's that? 3, 8, 11 commentators overall.
How long is it until we get a proper full-time female commentator?
Renee Young, please, Renee Young.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. I love Renee Young. Her on Talking Smack was fantastic. She's by far the best female personality they have. Whack her on Raw to replace Michael Cole, and I'll be happy with the Raw commentary. I like Byron Saxton. They've got Jeremy Borash, the basic face of TNA, coming in now.
Like, as far as I have for Jeremy Borash, he's gonna be doing something with NXT. As far as I have heard.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But I hope he does become a commentator or gets a big role in WWE.
He needs a big role because the guy is fantastic. But it's what I mean. Why does Corey need to be on both shows, SmackDown and Raw?
Yeah.
You've got 11 commentators between 4 shows. Why do you need him on 2 shows? It makes no sense. Surely 11 people is enough to do 4 shows. 10 people would do that. Are you telling me they're running out of people? Come on. So, where would you put Renee Young, though, to have her?
I don't know.
I'd like to see a woman on both Raw and SmackDown. You know, I think if WWE are going down the path of actually having female superstars and female matches of interest, as opposed to what they used to be of just boring, people just used to call them the toilet break segments because there was no interest in it. You know, the performance wasn't that great and the storyline was non-existent. Now we're actually getting some stuff. But they need to go all the way with it. So we need a female on commentary. We need, you know, a little bit more time given to it to actually develop some stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm all happy. I'd love to see Renee Young do more because she was doing a lot, and people love Renee Young. She's one of the most liked personalities WWE have. I can't really see any. I can't say I've ever seen any negative comments really about Renee Young.
No, I it could be Renee, but I wouldn't be upset with Alita, Trish, any of the.
Beth Phoenix is doing commentary for the Mixed Match Challenge. That's
fantastic.
Cool. Never Stephanie.
No,
that's what I was going to actually ask. Like, who would be your people that you'd want to see other than Renee as like?
I don't think there's many people that I wouldn't like to see, assuming that they're good at the job.
Maybe a Paige.
Maybe
she can't mess up.
But she after his like storyline with Absolution, I can maybe see it happen.
That storyline needs to die, please. It's painful to watch.
Well, it's a good job we're not in the positive points right now.
Oh, thank God. I know. But it's not working. Absolution is not... The Riot Squad is not doing too bad, because Ruby Riot's quite a dynamic leader.
I would have preferred just for like one team to come up, but the way WWE made it, like three women's like teams, like just two teams, like with three people in it, wasn't the best way to do it.
But they're doing the same booking for both teams.
Yeah.
There's nothing different going on. It's just the same repeat thing with different people. It's so boring.
And they did the exact same thing for like, both teams. Just went on.
SmackDown. Yeah, literally, they had a singles match, one Raw, one SmackDown, and both of the members of each of the team lost. It was the same. I mean, come on, do something different with them. I don't think it's not working how they're doing it anyway. They just need to go, we'll just have Ruby Riot turn on them, and then they can piss off somewhere else, because the other talents aren't working.
Well, we're talking about the other talents. Mandy, the people I don't see like doing too well on the main roster is Mandy Rose, Sarah Logan. Who else is there? There's just them two. I see Sonya Deville doing pretty well.
Mandy Rose is terrible. She's literally dog shit at wrestling.
She's currently in a storyline with Goldust now, because when I watched the last WWE video, Goldust asked her for like a meal or some deal, so like date or something. So that's hopefully.
Well, we'll see where that goes, because last time Goldust was going to have an apprentice. It didn't exactly go very well, did it?
No. Has R-Truth died? Because he's not been seen on TV in months.
I think we shouldn't mention it, because otherwise he might end up coming back.
Yeah. Last time I remember.
Has he been fired?
No.
I haven't heard anything from it.
No, it's just for him to just drop off the map and not even show up on Raw 25th anniversary.
Yeah, because he's been a big part.
Yeah, that's what I find weird, is he's not been seen for a very long time.
The last time I remember seeing R-Truth was the
Goldust breakup.
Elias, that's the last time I remember.
I remember the Goldust breakup, and that was like a few months ago.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. We've definitely got off top.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's Booker T. Done. Have you had your question answered there, Ross?
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, we're moving on to something we're going to finish with in each of these podcasts. And we're going to give out some awards. These awards might be for really trivial things. They might be for Superstar of the Year. They might be for anything in particular. But we're all going to bring something to the table. And then we're going to give out an award. The idea is that we're all going to suggest one person or thing for each award. And then between us, we'll decide who wins the award. If we can't decide between us, then it will go to a public vote in the chat on YouTube. So look out for that.
Yeah, or I'll put a poll up on the video.
Yeah,
something like that.
We're going to start with you, Tom, this week.
I have the Spot of the Month is my award that I'm presenting. So what spot out of the whole of January do you think was the best of the month? Mine would have to be Braun Strowman flipping over the announce table and that stage onto Kane. I just loved that moment. It was just I was barely paying attention. It just shocked me. I've never seen it happen before. It was a great way to take out Kane, and it made Braun Strowman look insane. And the crowd pop was mental. And the fact they didn't change the announce table for the whole show was amazing. That is my spot of the month.
What about you then, Ross?
My spot of the month, I would have to say, it'd be the Royal Rumble type of thing, because Shinsuke, I'd say Shinsuke Nakamura winning. I know it was maybe a bit obvious and stuff, but I would say that's one of the spot of the months, because finally the fans are getting to see what they want and stuff, and it was a big crowd pop. And it's a match that the fans have wanted for a little while now, since Shinsuke and AJ's in WWE together.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Super, what's yours?
Well, I'm going to go for the obvious best spot that they can possibly do in WWE, and that is Roman Reigns' double Superman punch, which makes absolutely no sense. No, that is not accurate. For me, I think that Kofi Kingston re-entry into the ring at Royal Rumble was something I've not seen. Someone jumping from outside the ring in the ring, and the height he got was so clever. Not something I've seen before, and I'd like to see that sort of stuff continue.
Yeah. Okay, so there's our 3 points. Guys, which one do you think we should agree on?
What do you think, Super Chasney? What do you
Well, of course, I think the one that I said. No, I think I'm actually going to go with yours, Roy. I think Nakamura winning the is pretty spectacular. And just to see him celebrate at the end, it was something that I popped for.
Well, yeah, about to say we did scream. We literally screamed our houses down at that point. Yeah, so that is the vote of the spot of the month is Nakamura winning the Rumble.
I assume
Okay,
Ross was going to go with his own, was he?
Yeah.
Obviously. I go for that one as well because it was a fantastic moment.
Didn't you not down
a beer? Yeah,
yeah,
we
down
did.
a beer.
I literally fell off my chair, screamed, got a beer, and downed it because he won. It was amazing.
Very pleased.
And now it's your spot of your award for the day.
Yes. Mine is most underutilized superstar or female superstar, whatever they're called nowadays.
Female wrestler.
So we can have female wrestlers and superstars. Okay. So most underutilized superstar of the last sort of 30 days, month. So what about you, Ross? We're going to you first.
This is the one that I didn't properly think through here. But in the last 30 months, in the last 30 days, not 30 months, last 30 days, I would have to go with Baron Corbin a little bit. I don't know why, but Baron Corbin, just for a few.
He did get chucked out quite early in the Rumble.
Yeah. I'd go with Baron Corbin.
Lasted 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Jesus.
Eliminated by Rhino.
Isn't the best one.
Oh, sorry, no, eliminated by Balor. He eliminated Rhino.
Okay, so we're going to go on to...
Yeah, Tom, most underutilized?
Most underutilized, that is tough.
That's probably one of the toughest of them all.
I'm going to go to NXT, and I'm going to go with Kairi Sane, since she hasn't done anything since her debut. They've got this amazing woman's talent, and she's not doing anything. Her Royal Rumble appearance was one of the few rare occurrences she's appeared so far.
I agree with you. I think it's really sad because she was in the Rumble and I was really excited to see her. She looked great and then just chucked out like anyone else.
I mean, I know, and she's a phenomenal talent, and she has the best elbow drop in the wrestling business.
She does. For me, I have two, and I can't choose between them. I've got Dolph Ziggler, and I think he is. I can't believe they brought him back at the Royal Rumble to get chucked out in
Oh no, that
two
pissed me
minutes and
off.
1 second.
That did piss me off as well.
That really was a waste of a 30 spot as well.
But the one I'm going to go with for the award is Matt Hardy. He has turned a gimmick that was so over in TNA, or has had to turn, or however it's worked out, a really good gimmick into a laughing gimmick where all he does is laugh. He came out and lost a match to Bray Wyatt on the biggest Raw of the year. He then came into the Royal Rumble number 19 and lasted. Does anyone remember?
About 3-4 minutes, and then Bray eliminated him.
Yeah, they both
1
went
minute.
Well, they eliminated each other.
1 minute 17.
Jesus Christ!
He eliminated Rusev, and then him and Wyatt. With Wyatt, and then they threw each other over the top rope.
Yeah,
Matt Hardy. They've got so much potential with him, and they've just done nothing.
He owns all the copyright though of all of the TNA stuff, so.
But they're not
Should
using
be
it.
very soon. Yeah, but I don't think it'll be very long until they use it.
Until they go into more details of it and stuff.
Yeah, well, he's even teased that they're going to be going to the Hardy compound.
That would be amazing.
He's been teasing it on Twitter.
Well, for most underutilized superstar of the month, I'm going with Matt Hardy.
Ooh, now we've got to go between Matt Hardy,
Baron Corbin,
or Corey Sane.
Ross.
For me, that's kind of a tough one between. I'm not gonna pick my one because your two is the main ones. It's between Carrie Sane obviously and Matt Hardy, but I'm gonna go with Super Chesney's one in Matt Hardy because it was kind of disappointing to see Bray Wyatt beat Matt Hardy. Of course, the gimmick that was like so great in TNA, then it comes WWE and not doing too well. So I'm going with Super Chesney.
The problem is it's over, but they don't seem to be utilising it on TV as well as they should.
Now they have all the rights to it, so hopefully
they own all the rights to it, and they've given Matt creative control. So someone backstage must be going to him and trying to take that away from him because it started off with the weird sketches, which was wonderful, and now it's just I don't know what they're doing with it.
And what about you, Tom? Not that you can win now.
Oh yeah. I agree. I'll have to agree with you on your Matt Hardy one. It was Matt Hardy. Is hopefully at WrestleMania he can pick up a win against Wyatt and redeem this whole situation. That's the only thing I see happening.
Well, there you go, guys. Our most underutilized wrestler of the month goes to Matt Hardy. Ross, you've got one or quite possibly two for us this week.
I have two. I'm gonna start off. So my award is gonna be for like the star performer in the Royal Rumbles. So I'm gonna start off with the men's. I'm gonna do mine's last, but I'm gonna ask you guys who you think is the star performer in the men's Royal Rumble.
Well, I'm happy to go first. For the men's, Finn Balor was in for 57 minutes 38, which is an incredibly long time. He came in second, eliminated 4 superstars, was in there at the end for the big show off with the last 4. And for someone that was supposed to be facing Brock Lesnar and then was told he wasn't over enough to do that and be the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble. I know Nakamura won it, and that was superb, but it was really nice to see Balor get in there, do some work, and get some eliminations as well. So Finn Balor.
Okay, now to you, Tom.
I can't argue with Finn Balor. I actually haven't got a better one that was a star performer in there because Finn Balor just was the Iron Man of the match.
My one was in fact Finn Balor as well.
That's unanimous.
That was
Finn Balor.
my one was Finn Balor.
Because I know Nakamura lasted like 37 minutes or something like that, but Finn Balor was the Iron Man of the match.
Yeah. So, well, I'll move on to the next one then.
The women.
Okay. So, over to the women now. So, the star performer of the women's one. This time, Super Chasney started off. So, we're going to go with Tom to start this one.
I think Becky Lynch was probably the star performer of it. She had an amazing time in there. She started, what was she, like second or third, something like that?
Yeah, I'm sure she was
Did she kick it?
second or third, yeah.
Something like that. And she went through near most of the match. I think she got eliminated like, was it, how long was she in there, Super Chaz now?
Becky, she came in right at the beginning, didn't she? She was in there for 31 minutes. Which is a long
She
time.
was, yeah. I say Becky is my star performer of the Royal Rumble. I'm sad that she didn't get into the last four, because I wanted Becky to win.
So did I.
I wanted Becky to go on to reign at WrestleMania, because she is by far one of my favourite female wrestlers in WWE. So she's my star performer of the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to assume that you're going to go for Asuka, but I don't know. But for me, Nia Jax got the most eliminations and has a lot of potential to be very different to lots of other women. And she was in there quite a long time. I love the spots where there's loads of people beating them down and then they break out and knock 5 or 6 women down at the same time. It just looks so dominant, and she eliminated some pretty good superstars. So I'm going to go with Nia Jax.
Okay.
That's
On to me now. Mings isn't actually Asuka or Nia Jax, but Nia Jax did do very well when she came in. But
she did.
Mings is gonna be Sasha Banks. I say she done really well in this one. Especially with kind of like a little type of like heelish kind of thrown out Bailey. I'd say she was kind of the one.
Yeah, she lasted, I think it was 54 minutes.
Yeah, she was kind of like the female version of Finn Balor in this Women's Royal Rumble match type of.
Well, I said earlier in the podcast, I thought that Sasha Banks has got it all, and I still do. I thought that Nia Jax was worthy of a mention this time, and there you go.
So 3 different people.
So who are you going to go with, Tom?
I'm sticking with my own as Becky Lynch.
Well, I'm going to leave this up to Ross, because I'm going to stick with Nia Jax.
I think Sasha Banks is a.
And we are at an impasse. Okay, guys, there is going to be a poll. It's attached to this video. Please vote for who you think was the star performer of the Women's Royal Rumble out of Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Nia Jax.
And the results.
And we will tell you the winner of the poll on the next podcast.
Can it not be at the top right corner? If you click the little dot.
Yeah, that's where it's going to be. It's going to be that little circle. You click the little circle and it will bring up the poll, and you just click which one you want to vote for.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Thank you.
And this,
go on.
This looks like it's the end of the podcast.
It is.
I think we've made some really good points. We rambled a bit, but that's what you expect with podcasts, to be honest.
Yep.
It's never.
We're learning, guys.
coherent.
We're learning. We're going to we're going to get this right over the next few podcasts and see where we come out to.
Yeah.
If you've got any suggestions of things you'd like to hear, topics for the awards, if you want us to talk about one, then please do leave it in the comments section.
Yeah. Topics you think we should cover in the podcast. It could be even points from the past, like, do you think The Rock was wrong in this situation?
Yeah.
Anything we can cover in a podcast. Doesn't have to be current wrestling. It could even be New Japan wrestling. We could research that. It could be anything about wrestling if you would like us to talk about it.
Even something that you think's maybe going to happen, we can maybe discuss it on here and see our.
Yeah, just
Yep.
definitely. So yeah, we do hope you've enjoyed this first podcast of All Things Super, featuring Ross Mackie.
Yep.
Now, I've left Super Chazzy's and Ross Mackie's links in the description below, so please go and check out them. They both have fantastic channels. We're going to try and make this a weekly thing, if not every 2 weeks. Because obviously it takes a long time to film a podcast. But yeah, every week or 2 weeks, I'll make a playlist so you can keep up to date. Now, we do hope you've enjoyed this. Please give this a like. Please subscribe to all of us, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.
See you later.
See you later.